Thank you for coming to Compass Starlight. I want to do an energy check-in for the weekend, really. These cards have been shuffled off camera, but I was going to try to shuffle them again on camera for you to see as we do this check-in, energy check-in for the weekend. These cards really more than I had intended. Let's see if I can get these all to fit. Okay. Good thing I shuffled well before I went on camera. All right. What kind of energy, what messages do my viewers need to know? Okay. Good. Just tidy this up. Weekend messages here. We have Hope, card number 39. We have Logic, card number 22. We have the Cosmic Heart, Devotion, Potency, Make Your Life a Moving Prayer. We have the Great Severing, Mars energy, Anger, Conflict, Softening to Love. We have Weight of the World, Boundaries, Let It Go, It's Not Yours to Carry. And we have the Seven of Swords. Interesting. Okay, there's a lot here. Big picture. This may not be all of you watching this, but if you have come to my channel for this reading, if something drew you in, the energy I'm picking up says that you have been, someone or some party, such as an employer, a person or an entity like an employer, possibly family, a group of some sort, a small community of some sort, has taken advantage of you, has overlooked your value, and made you feel like you are not worthy of what you deserve, what you truly deserve. And I'll just say right now, you are worthy. You're worthy of great things. You are worthy just as any other human being. But someone has made you feel like they've taken from you. In a very subtle fashion, taken your energy, taken your time, possibly taken away your finances, either by not paying you a payment of value as to what you're worth, or just by cutting corners. If you've ever worked a kind of job where you have to clock in and clock out, and you get that, nowadays it's like every 7 minutes, varies on the quarter of the hour for payment, and perhaps you've put in more time than you're actually getting paid, and your employer has been cutting the corners and not averaging out your time to give you adequate payment. Little by little, just little picking, and it's pennies. It's just a small amount, but over time it just feels like someone's taking advantage of you, It feels like somebody's digging in your pockets. And so let that be a metaphor as well, if it's not a situation of employment, that somebody has been picking away at you, taking your energy, whether it's a friend who's constantly seeking advice but not really giving back an interest into how you are doing or what is going on in your life, because they are so preoccupied with what is going on in their own life, but they're consistently asking for help, for assistance, when you have not offered it to them. It's an awakening, an awareness of the need to release that burden, weight of the world, and cut those bonds, the great severing. It doesn't necessarily imply that you cut someone out of your life, black and white, never speak to them again, never see them again, although it could mean that. It's a matter of figuring out how to establish your own boundaries in the situation such that you can protect yourself going forward. Establishing boundaries to make others aware of what you will and will not tolerate. It's a matter of standing up for yourself because you are worthy. You are deserving. I'm going to go over some of these cards. Well, all of them, really. I guess it's going to be a longer reading. Card number 39. Hope is the archetype card for omens. Follow a sublime idea until it is realized. Well, that's beautiful. In that reflection, I actually had someone wanting to look at details and present, in a way, omens to a community of people. And this community, each individually, have presented the details, and the other individual who asked for them went on to provide the omens associated. And those omens are symbols, and some are symbols of hope and some are not so much so. But where you see the symbols of hope, it is like a confirmation of something that you may already have in your mind, and that brings joy and hope into the mind. It could make you focus on something that excites you, something that does bring joy and hope. It's something to hold on to. If it is a confirmation, if you find something comes across your path, something you hear, something you see that seems like an omen that confirms something that you already have had in mind, feel that excitement, feel that feeling, and follow that feeling until it is realized. And yet, use logic. This card number 22 is the archetype for common sense. Think over problems. Don't split hairs. This is where we're being asked not to abandon friendships and relationships that aren't working well. This is where we're being asked to find solutions to problems, to find solutions to challenges, and to stand up and create boundaries that will be useful for yourself and for the others with whom you have these relationships. There is hope for mending these relationships. There is hope for reestablishing balance. These three cards here are from the Starseed Oracle. The Cosmic Heart says, devotion, potency, make your life a moving prayer. When you surrender to a state of devotion, you find yourself flowing with all of life. You're being called to refocus your attention deep within to the intelligence of your own heart, to bow with deep reverence to your inner temple, to live your life in devotion to this place, to make your life one big moving prayer. Perhaps you've felt a bit off kilter lately, sensing that the potency of why you're doing things has gotten a little watered down or weak. Perhaps you've forgotten what made you start doing them in the first place. If so, this is your call to take a moment and reconnect with the truth at the very center of your heart, to get back to the essence of what you're about, to devote your life to what you care most about, to turn your gaze deep, 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 deep. There are seasons for harvesting and seasons for sowing. Right now, you're being called to plant your soul's seeds and sing to them with deep devotion, to feed them with the sweet waters of your own soul, to lose yourself in the potency of what it is that most expands your heart, to live your life according to what makes you come alive rather than what everyone else thinks, to make your life one big moving prayer. The Starseed Soul Inquiry asks, how can you make your life a moving prayer? I think the answer, you ask that question of yourself. But in this depiction here, this reading, one of the answers to that question, to live your life according to what makes you come alive rather than what everyone else thinks. You have to establish those boundaries. You have to allow yourself to be your own voice of reason, to use your own logic, and to trust yourself to know what is in your best interest, and to not allow others to make those decisions for you. When you allow others to make decisions, you are giving them your power, and then they take in ways that maybe are not intended, but you are allowing them to do so. The next card is the Great Severing. Mars energy, anger, conflict, softening to love. This is a shadow card, one that may feel confrontational. Don't be afraid. It's here to bring to the surface anything that's standing in the way of letting love in. The warring planet of Mars is our constant reminder that it's important to soften, forgive, and find our way back to love. There are many things in the human experience that make it difficult for our heart and soul to stay open to the never-ending source of love. We're all wounded, and our unconscious wounds inflict wounds on others. It can feel like a never-ending dance we can never escape. If we aren't careful, before long, we'll see the world as a scary, dangerous place where fear and anxiety roam free. If this card surfaces, it could be for two reasons. Firstly, for you to acknowledge the difficult emotions, situations, conflicts, wounds, and fears that are causing you pain and anxiety. And secondly, for you to find your way back to love. When we're hurt, it's normal to close off our heart to the world, to let the painful experience confirm the agony of separation in earthly life. Soften and find your way back to love anyway. When fear, anxiety, and paranoia paralyze you, it's normal to want to hide away from others and the world. Come out of your cave and soften your heart anyway. We're all innocent children, spinning our way around the world. Find a way to see the innocence in all people, especially yourself. The Starseed Soul Inquiry asks, how are you cutting yourself off from love? How can you soften toward those who have hurt you? In these places where people may have taken advantage of you, it's important to take a moment and offer forgiveness. And the final card is Weight of the World. Boundaries. Let it go. It's not yours to carry. You don't need to carry it all. You're no good to anyone if you're running on empty and bogged down by the weight of the world. This card is a reminder to look after your own well-being before anyone else's, to stop carrying the world's problems on your shoulders, to put on your own oxygen mask first. In these changing times, it's hard not to feel overwhelmed by the state of the planet. However, you can't take on its problems from a place of energetic depletion. This card is thanking you for caring so much. You want to build a better world and ease the road for others, and that's incredible. But the way you've been doing so is likely unsustainable. This isn't to say you should switch off to the world's problems and become unconscious. Rather, it's a call to establish clear boundaries so you're not constantly taken out energetically. The planet needs you to be healthy both physically and emotionally. So instead of digesting the news or reaching for your phone as soon as you wake up, show up first to a nourishing practice such as meditation, soul inquiry, deep breathing, or exercising in nature. Once you're in a state of grace and your inner well is full, you can face the day, the state of the world, and care for others. And at day's end, take an energetic shower by emptying out anything that's not yours to carry. You can pick it up again the next morning if you so choose, but give yourself time and space to rejuvenate and rest. For this card, the Starseed Soul Inquiry says, "What are you carrying that isn't even yours?" And again, this brings me back to the Seven of Swords. This card is generally about deception. Sometimes it can be seen as a thief stealing swords, but really it's more about strategy. Nonetheless, it can be a card that depicts or that represents theft, someone taking advantage of you, etc. And that's what I was feeling when I first laid out the cards. So when it comes to this card, the weight of the world and releasing anything that is not yours, when you take on the responsibilities others put on you, or take on obligations which present too much of a burden to you, where there isn't reciprocity, where there isn't compensation for your time or your energy, you end up depleting yourself. You have the hope card here. You know that there are things coming to you. There are omens that tell you so. Whatever that is, even if it is merely the sun rising again on a new day, with that bright, high frequency energy of the sun, always a new day. Don't let the burdens and responsibilities of others weigh you down in life. Make your life a moving prayer. Put that love into yourself first. Establish some boundaries. Give yourself time to recuperate. Let go of the things that are not yours to carry. If you need to take the weekend to check in on yourself, to balance your own energy, to forgive, well, so be it. Give yourself that time. There may be an opportunity for conflict and fights to arise over the weekend. I suggest that you try not to give in to that energy. Keep your composure. Take a moment to yourself if that's what you need. If that can calm you down, get out in nature. Balance yourself. When other people act out, they're acting out from a place of their own wounding. Recognize that it's not yours. That's the message I have for the day. The message I have for the energy check-in for the weekend. Try to keep yourself balanced as you move through the weekend and encounter others, participate with others. When you see conflict arising, look for solutions, but it may also require that you set some boundaries regarding what you will and will not tolerate, what kind of burdens you will and will not accept. Look out for yourself. Thank you for coming to Compass Starlight.